Half wasn't the best, was it?
It wasn't the best, and I think on the optimistic side, Paul, we've seen at half-time the crowd, the Vietnamese crowd who went very quiet in the first half, seem to have been lifting their spirits, and let's hope they can lift their team a little bit, because there has been a substitution here, Paul, and...
Well, yeah, that's the... Is that? Yep, there's one being made for Thailand, that much we can see, and there has been one just made for Vietnam. We'll bring those to you as soon as we can.
It's Win Kwok An who's gone off, who I absolutely slaughtered in that first half for not looking across the line.
Tiraton comes back on, and new chat goes off, so that'll be just a straight swap down the left-hand side. It's no problems for Winfried Schaffer. So the referee from Japan, Sato Ruji, almost set to get us going. Star Sports and our live coverage of the AFF Suzuki Cup. Unrivaled coverage throughout Asia, bringing you all 18 games that will be played. And lots of shows in and around it as well. I can tell you just in the opening minute of the second half, big news. The Philippines have taken the lead against Myanmar. That means that things could be done and dusted and cut and dried now. It looks as though the Philippines will go through. Thailand have already qualified, but if that stays the same way, it is Younghusband who scored. Phil Younghusband has scored for the Philippines. That makes it 1-0. Thailand leading here 1-0. It means both sides will go through with 6 points, but Thailand will importantly top the group. It's a nice finish as well, isn't it, Jamie?
Well, the other evening, Phil Younghusband looked like he'd forgotten how to score goals. He was so lacking in confidence, but on this occasion, a little bit aided by their slippery turf, kept his balance quite well and tucked the ball away with his left peg very nicely.
Chance there, straight at the other end, the substitute, Gwen Kwan Hai, going close.
It's not a bad effort. It was okay, and it's good to see the Vietnamese taking it to the opposition.
No choice, Jamie. They need to at least win, and they will hope and pray that Myanmar can do something against the Philippines, but they are currently trailing by a 1-0.
Irrespective of qualification for the next round, Paul, they have to try and give an account of themselves in this game. If they go back home having lost this one 1-0 as well, then they will be slaughtered.
Well, there are big problems, and I'll touch on those very shortly, Jamie. I had a quick phone call with Steve Darby at half-time as that ball's whipped in. It's just gone behind, and he's telling me that there are big problems over in Vietnam, financial, but a lot of journalists are calling for the coach's head. Dan Hung, not happy with him at all, but he did coach Da Nang, who won the league, and the money problems are very deep there. The club has just folded. It was the top club in Hanoi, and the president's in jail. So big issues in Vietnamese football at the moment, which is maybe why they're not competing the way that they should be. Hence the performance that we are seeing here, because it is very pedestrian. No cutting edge, no striking prowess, it has to be said. They're just happy to keep and stroke the ball around. It's not being disrespectful to the players, but problems off the pitch obviously having an effect as well. Nice ball reverse past him, but easily dealt with and just flicked up straight in the air from Apipu. Say Jong, who had Vietnam's best chance in that first half. It was that free kick from about 25-30 yards out that just clipped the top of the crossbar. I think the talking point at the moment is going on at the Rajamangala Stadium, which is the Philippines could go back-to-back semi-finals after being in the wilderness for many a year, Jamie. It's huge.
It is enormous. It's a basketball-playing country, so football was very much a minority sport, but it's really come of age. They've taken to it. The league's picking up domestically. They're getting some of their players are coming back to the Philippines to play football.
Of course, Just a big name not here. Etheridge, who signed for Fulham, was recalled from a loan spell from Bristol City.
And of course it is good for the Southeast Asian tournaments, Paul. The more good sides you've got in the tournament, then everybody benefits.
I was taught that Australia were trying to worm their way into the Southeast Asian tournament as well.
Well, they're still looking for a tournament they can win, Paul. Good job PJ Roberts didn't hear me say that.
Of course, Oceania no longer for Australia. Here is Sompong. Looks up, clips a dangerous ball in. Kirikat! The follow-up goes just wide. Chanatip, the young boy. But Kirikat went very, very close on that occasion and should really have made it two.
Well, he does everything right, doesn't he? You were supposed to go back across goal, which he did. And let's give credit to the defending. That's excellent work. Excellent work defensively. Great ball into the area. He probably should have got more weight on the header. It was a big looping cross, so difficult to get too much pace on it. But really should have been 2-0.
Vietnam, the way that they are playing here, Jamie, you have to say, and we don't like to be premature, but it looks as though they are bowing out of the competition because they can't afford to let a second string side from Thailand do this to them. We do have to say that because it is very, very much a second string side from Vietnam. A lot of big name players missing. Form going into this competition. They beat Malaysia, they beat Bhutan, they beat Bangladesh. And they got into the tournament. They beat Laos before that in friendlies. So it's quite a good achievement from them, to be fair. The way that they have been going about their business. Because if you look at the Vietnamese going into this tournament, it was a 1-0 victory against Malaysia, a 4-0 victory against Laos, but they lost 1-0 to Turkmenistan. So form wasn't bad for Vietnam, as a little snapshot just on the edge of the box there from Phan Tan Long.
Well, he's looked the player most likely to, really. He's had several pops at goal. Deflected for a corner kick. Actually, they've been quite imaginative with their corners. He's managed some good delivery from, particularly from this side.
Whipped in. Just headed straight up in the air. And shot just scuffed goal bound. Well, it's very much not the side that we saw in 2008, which was the last time that these two sides met in this competition. Of course, it was the final where Thailand lost 2-1 at home and went across to Vietnam, were winning by 1-0. And of course, Lee Kon Vin with that 89th minute, or was it the 90th minute equaliser to win them the trophy for the first time in their history. That does not look good, by the way. People just on the floor, looks as though he's really struggling, and he's pointing to his knee and he's just rubbing it. That's
never good news, is it? Never good news. Because that's one of those, Paul, isn't it? That it's a sort of undefinable pain. You know, it's hurting in there, but it's not like you know you've got a knock on the muscle or something.
Or
it's
a hurting, or a gash, or something like that.
You know something's wrong in there, but exactly what it is unknown. I always laugh when they sit up like this. It looks so precarious, Paul. They tip a little bit and they could fall off. I remember Lim Tong Hai doing that years ago, playing in the Malaysia Cup, and I think they actually dropped him. He's a big lad, Lim Tong Hai, and I think the stretcher bearers weren't quite strong enough. They dropped him on the way back.
Not a good day out, right? With a little layoff. Sompong does well to retain and keep possession, just to try and dive and duck in between the two defenders. As it is, it's going to be a throw-in.
Yeah, he's done all right there. Of the two, obviously, Kirati has made a rather more positive impression.
He's a big lad as well.
He's a big lad, yeah.
Almost 6 foot he is.
Would like to have seen Chanatit get a little bit more on the ball. We've had a couple of little runs from the 22 at the bottom of your screen there, but it'd be nice to see him get on the ball, because he does look as if he's got plenty of football about him, rather like Andik for Indonesia. Another one who's likened to Leo Messi. I suppose everyone has to have their Leo Messi player like these days.
For Mancha really has set the tournament alight. Can't believe he didn't start the second game against Singapore, but came on, scored that goal that's turned Group B right on its head as well. Those games you can catch tomorrow live across our networks. Make sure that you check your listings for details. Singapore take on Laos, and they should win that game. Let's be honest about that. If they win that, they are through. But the big one, no mistake about it, Malaysia take on Indonesia. I said a winner takes all. Indonesia only need... Malaysia just need a point to go. Indonesia just need a point to go through, sorry, because they're currently on 4 points. Long range shot fired just wide and high. They had a disappointing draw against Laos in their opening encounter. Then that 1-0 victory against Singapore. You do think that Malaysia should win that game against Indonesia, because there were frailties shown, particularly in that opening game against Laos. They got better against Singapore and dug in a little bit more, it has to be said. It was a late goal that saw them clinch victory, with Andik scoring in the 87th minute. Singapore should really dispatch Laos.
Well, Laos always get their best result in the first game, and that's the way it's worked out this time. Great draw, and then I think their legs went in that second game, and I don't think they'll recover in time.
Great ball, splitting the fullback. A real chance here, Gwen Trong Hwan. It's closed down quickly, pulls it back, but again, the red shirts all just gather round and crowd out the white shirts. Dantai trying to make something happen there, but it's the man with the knee, people who managed to get back and clear his lines. Little injuries here for the Thai side, and that is Kirati, so they've used 2 substitutes already. They won't want another one. He's just caught his foot at the bottom.
Yeah. Self-inflicted, it has to be said there. That was a super ball played inside the fullback, and to be perfectly honest, Win Trung Hwan probably should have done a bit better there. I think if he carried the ball across his man, the defender wouldn't have been able to make a challenge, and should have got a strike away at goal there. He'll be all right, Kirati's young. Shrug that off.
He's 25, so he's starting to hit what would be his peak.
In his prime, approaching his prime, isn't he?
Daniel takes it short. The Dandai tries to be a little bit too clever. There is Sompong back, trying to sort everything out, just shrugging off the challenges. Tries to win the throw for himself, but doesn't.
There. It's Thai defence every time. The 2 banks are full. Look at it, the little fellow. Space there.
Real opportunity, just a little bit too far ahead of Kirati.
Just overhit that pass, Chanatit. Just a fraction short, fraction too hard. Actually, probably should have done better with that. Had plenty of time to size up the pass. This is a good run. I have to say, Paul, the game's getting a little bit stretched out now. It's kind of become defence against attack. People are not really playing in midfield anymore. That's good centre forward play, isn't it?
You like that, don't you, Jamie?
The coaches always tell you, if you can avoid heading the ball, if you can bring it down with your chest, it's so much more useful bringing players in.
Effective there with the ball into Kirati, just getting away from him there. You wanted that intent, didn't you, like you just said?
Just too far in front of him. Andy was trying to bring it down with his right foot. I think if it'd been the other way round and it'd been coming to his left, might have had enough just to bring it down.
to Gwen Van Quet. Cheats back in, has a little look up. Tries to cross it in, but that's well defended by Nuat. Range shot, just nicked over the top. That's going to be a corner. That's a little bit better from Vietnam. They're showing a little bit more enterprise at the moment, aren't they?
Well, there's definitely some mistakes, some sloppiness coming into the Thai defending that wasn't there in the first half hour of the game. I think through this midsection, they've not acquitted themselves as well. And going down injured. The idea of today was to get through the game, get a result that was acceptable and keep everybody fit, but they've had 3 or 4 players go down now.
It's all the reserve players that are going down, so maybe not too bad for Winfried Schaffer, and that opponent is who's struggling down on the floor. Looks like another knee injury as well. The Rajamangala pitch can be very heavy at times, and it was in the opening round with the rain. It was awful, wasn't it? But surely you've got to look at possible training methods. If the players are all going down with the same sort of injury and the wear and tear that's on it, could have his role. There's not what you want, Jamie. That's what you're talking about. Get the kids there and get them down with the flags to enjoy themselves. And the guitars, look, brilliant.
How much fun is that, Paul? I mean, there's all these seats in the stadium. How much fun would it be if you had 10,000 of the kids doing that? That'd be brilliant.
It's exactly what you want.
And some of those kids would support football, would go and watch football for the rest of their lives. It's what you do, isn't it? The habits that you develop when you're young, you tend to keep on with, and you should get the youngsters into the stadium, make it fun. That looked a lot of fun, didn't it? Bit of a late night for them. Good job they haven't got school in the morning.
Let's not forget, of course, it is the time zone. It is an hour behind us, Jamie, where we are currently at the moment. So if it's 20 to 11 here at night, it's still 20 to 10, but the kids should be tucked up in bed sometime, shouldn't they? Usually about this time.
Well, another half an hour of the game. That's another 30 minutes on. Got to get home afterwards. It'll be midnight before they get to bed. To be too excited to sleep.
Long range shot coming in, easily dealt with though by Cowan. Phan Leong it was who pulled the trigger.
He's had almost all their shots, hasn't he?
It's getting a bit better from Vietnam. This last sort of 5-10 minutes, they've really started to impose a little bit of pressure themselves on Thailand.
They're at the stage where it's pretty much last chance saloon, isn't it? If they don't do it in the next 30 minutes, then they're going back very much with tails between the legs. And they have very high expectations in Vietnam.
Very, very high. It's the thing. They win it one year and everybody thinks that they are going to smash it the next year. Wasn't the case for Vietnam, losing in the semi-finals in the last edition to Malaysia.
Oh, that's the worst pass of the night.
Good, but Vietnam looking to equalise. Tan Thai looks for the give and go, gives the give but doesn't get it back. So now Thailand can break onside, but it's just too flat. You can see there that Kirati had tried to bend his run and had to stop. Good defending from the Vietnamese though.
Well, they kept a good line. Kirati had pulled wide, and if the ball had been played at the right angle, there was a lot of space to run into. I want to see him get on the ball more. I like what we're seeing from Kirati, enjoying his game. I think a little bit more urgency from the Thais, and they could finish this one off 2 or 3 goals comfortably.
Get it done. Behind and brings the throw. Kind of looking to take that one quickly, but then elects not to. a little bit sloppy. Philippines have just hit the post against Myanmar. And I can tell you, it is 1-0 in the other game. As it stands at the moment, Thailand will go through top of Group A. The Philippines will finish second. Still plenty of football to go, and a free header, and that's what it's all about. Jamie Reeves punches the air. He's a happy, happy boy because he's seen the goal that he wanted to see, and he's seen the man that he wanted to see scoring. Kirati doing exactly what you wanted, Jamie. And then again, that Tony Haley roll, going and attacking the ball, big and brave with the header, and finds the corner. Now Vietnam are going out. There is absolutely no way back for them in this game. Thailand will go marching on undefeated through Group A.
What a super goal. Hey, the ball out wide, had the opportunity to cross, took his time, picked his man. He just measures this cross, and well, we call it old-fashioned centre-forward play, but that's what it is. You attack the ball in there, you get your head on the ball, gets a nice good bit of pace, a little bit of it's not really even a glancing header, gets good pace into the corner, and well, they liked it as well. And I'm not surprised. It's good football, it's done well, and it's playing to your strengths. You've got a good centre forward, get the service in there. There's a lot of Thais in the crowd. They're all very much enjoying themselves. They came to party tonight, and 2-0 to the good. The big striker with both the goals, so he'll be looking for a hat-trick. You're telling Tiracil, anything you can do, I can do too. End of your career, they all count, don't they? It's a super goal.
It was well worked, well played. Ball, get it down, get it wide, get your cross in. Looks as though Lapaport cannot carry on. Again, the good thing for them is that they will have time to recover, and it's the number 2, Wong Sa, who is normally the captain. He comes on.
I think he'll enjoy doing that when they come on for 15 minutes, 25 minutes rather, have a little jog round. The game's won.
Time that Thailand will take to the field of play, if it stays this way. Again, gonna count chickens before they hatch, Jamie, but I can't see it happening, to be honest. Will be the 9th of December. That is the next time that Thailand will play. Winner of Group A. They will play the runner-up of Group B, which is going to be Indonesia or Malaysia, you would think. The way that it's all gone. There's a bit of a challenge coming in on Litantai.
I wouldn't rule out it being Singapore, Paul. If Indonesia win that game against Malaysia, then they finish top. Singapore beat Laos, they'll finish second. I've got a strong feeling. I fancy Indonesia tomorrow against Malaysia.
If Indonesia win, and even if Singapore, as long as Singapore don't lose by 2 goals, they will go through on goal difference.
Yeah, I'm still saying Singapore go through, but they'll be runners up. They'll play Thailand in the next round.
Indonesia to go through with 7 points. That's what you're looking at.
Yeah, Singapore with 6 points. So I don't think I think Singapore would rather avoid Thailand.
Chanatip pulls this one back. Possession kept from Sompong. Main shot coming in. We'll say that's why he's sitting in there and the holding midfielder.
And that's exactly what the players are saying to him as well. Get back there. Behave yourself. Give it to the players who can do that sort of thing. They'll be enjoying themselves out there now. They'll be having fun, confidence flowing through them. They've scored 8 goals in the 2 and 3/4 games they've played so far. Only conceded 1. It's good. It's good.
The Philippines. It's not bad.
It's good.
And they've basically changed the whole side today. So I mean, it's not too bad at all.
I think they've firmly established themselves as red-hot favourites in this tournament.
Stranger things have happened, Jamie.
Oh, sure.
It does have to be said. Saying in this game it will happen, but throughout the tournament and the competition, Lovely ball threaded through. Real chance here for the hat-trick. Good keeping. Duong Honson had to come a very, very long way there. Konate just bent his run and stayed on the shoulder.
It's a nice little interplay, and Chanatip was involved there as well. Not made much of an impression, it has to be said, the young fella, but clever little drag back initially to lose his man, and then a nice pass. It does look a little bit like a little boy playing in among the men at the moment. There he is, shutting his man down.
70 minutes gone. The Rajamangala Stadium. You're watching Star Sports and our live coverage of the AFF Suzuki Cup 2012 edition. Rival coverage throughout the whole of Asia, not just Southeast Asia. All 18 games, analysis and studio around all the semi-finals and the final, as well as the group games, and there'll be studio tomorrow as well. So we'll be able to pick the bones out of the two groups that have gone on. There's a little kick that's going to be a yellow card, and that was stupid. Artin, he's got a strike red. I'll tell you what, you know,
he's kicked him.
For what you're saying, you cannot do that. That is a good decision from the official, because he just turned around and he just kicked and lashed out. Can't believe he's done it. But that is a red card, and there's no question about that. And it was absolutely ridiculous. Here we go. Have a look at it here. It is Van Dan Leong. Now watch. Okay, it's a bit high, but there, bang. The referee is about 3 yards away.
You know what it reminds me of? Wayne Rooney getting sent off in that qualifier. It's just ridiculous. And the referee's right. It's not a yellow card. You deliberately kick the man. It's a red card.
Thailand down to 10 men. Not that it's going to matter much, because all they'll do now is just drag everybody back in. They are leading by 2-0 against Vietnam.
It's given him something to think about, isn't it? Everything was going his way. That's what football does to you, of course. You just think everything's going smoothly, and then the top striker twists an ankle and one of your players gets sent off. It can all fall apart very quickly.
Used to have a coach called Fred Davis who used to turn around and say exactly what he said as this ball's delivered in. It's a great ball. Little flick, 2-1. The flag has stayed down. It is 2-1. Gwen Van Quet. All because Artet lost his discipline and wasn't concentrating, lashed out, and has received a red card from the resulting free kick. A wonderful ball whipped in and a great finish from Gwen Van Quet.
But to be honest, when you see him standing all on his own there on the edge of the 6-yard box, you think, well, surely he was in an offside position, but the linesman's been pretty good throughout the game. It's one of those situations, the defence was moving up, he was moving forward, and although finally he looked offside, I suspect that the officials got it right. I don't think he knew too much about the header, it kind of glanced off his head, but we've got a game on, Paul.
Well, have we indeed? That is the question. So just over 70 minutes gone. It's 2-1. It's still 1-0 with the Philippines against Myanmar. What I can tell you is that it doesn't matter if Vietnam do claw their way back in and win this game. It won't have any bearing on the final tally of points and the final positions in Group A. Thailand look very much as though they will finish top, 6 points. And the Philippines, they're leading 1-0. So that's 6 points for them as challenges starting to go in now. The referee's starting to lose this. Flag stayed down again, but Vietnam now do have the bit between their teeth, and you can see the experience here of Kawin. He's only 22 years old, but he stepped right back and was encouraging one of the Vietnamese players to come and close him down so that he can just take the sting out of the game.
I think what happened there, Chanatip was trying some fancy footwork, and one of his teammates thought that he was fouled and the referee didn't give it. If we see, look, here he goes.
The arm was nudged.
Here he goes. Yeah. Now,
well, there's a kick.
There's a little kick. Now look, here's retribution. Oh, we've missed it.
We just missed the next one.
Yeah. He dived in, and actually I think he hurt himself as he went in. Just that loss of discipline.
happens in this tournament. We've seen it many, many times. I can remember a water bottle being thrown from a Myanmar player sitting on the bench at one of the Singapore players when they went through. He's always there, Jamie. He's always dressed up in his gear. Don't worry. I know who you're looking at. He was there at the Olympics. He's actually part of the whole of the Thailand supporters club, which travel and follow Thailand everywhere with any sport. He's there with all the gear on, and he's very well supported by the government to go and support the Thai national team. Whether it's football, athletics, you'll always see him at a major sporting event.
Excellent. Oh dear, this is silly, isn't it?
Well, it is a little bit silly. There's no need to do that. Pham Thanh Leong looks as though he's going to go into the book, is he? Or is it just going to be an indirect free kick? You can see the Thai player's not happy now because it's just going to be a free kick. The referee's built a rod for his own back with a straight red, but it was the correct decision. We have to be honest about that.
And that should have been a yellow. You're not allowed to do that. You never were allowed to do that, but particularly you're not allowed to move, are you?
The ball is out. He's taking the kick from outside the box. Now that's ridiculous anyway, because that's not where it happened. That's the first thing. But the ball is out of the goalkeeper's control the second that he releases the ball. But it's considered now.
You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to move in that situation.
Looks like there's going to be a change here, and it's going to be the number 17, Nguyen Vu Phong, with that will come on. Schaffer not happy with his players and having a right volley at them.
What a difference a half makes. Winifred Schaffer, Winfried Schaffer rather, couldn't do anything wrong in the first half. Relaxed, enjoying himself. Now the stress of being a football manager is firmly back in place.
But unless Vietnam score, a dozen goals, or it's not going to happen. There's not enough time left in the game. There's the challenge.
But notwithstanding that, Paul, it's not what he wants to happen, is it? It was great, very professional for 60 minutes virtually, very professional. And now suddenly they've lost it. They've got a player off. They're all looking at vendettas. They're trying silly things like that. Drag back on the line there.
Yeah. Instead of just carrying on with the game and getting it finished. 76.5 minutes gone. And the Rajamangala, it's still Thailand 2, Vietnam 1. Second half has picked up, and it's been a lot better than the first half. Great skill from Chanatip having his shirt tugged, and now we are going to have a yellow card. Van Juan goes into the book.
I think that's fair enough.
Do you think the referee's just done that to settle the whole game down now?
I think so, yeah. He needed to book somebody the next incident. But this fella, great feet there. Really good, very sharp. He's pulled. That's going to... I think most situations now when the player's behind and they're pulling on the jersey, yellow card's given. Van Juan shouldn't really complain about that.
That's great. Could have done. Must have cut back inside, a real opportunity, and you could see at the far post, Sompong totally unmarked. The wrong decision there.
Very poor decision making there. There was a lot on, and the shot that he went for was never really on. Nicely played down the left-hand side. Two very good left-footed players in unison there.
Crowded out. The Thais doing just enough at the moment. They are down to 10 men. I think sent off in the 69th minute. 2 minutes later, when Van Quith pulled one back. That's why we have a scoreline of 2-1. Better play from Vietnam. Pham Thanh Leong trying to create a yard for himself. Buffon giving it away, and Busai just launching that one right up the other end of the field and playing, just saying, okay, well, let's just get the ball away for it and get a little breather.
Offside again, Paul. Unbelievable. Change of personnel, still the same mistake.
I Tell you what, when that was played, Jamie, when that ball was played, it looked like Newton stepped up very, very late there.
Yeah, I think he probably got his timing just about right. You could see him looking across the line.
So I know you've had a go at the striker. I actually stuck up for the striker there because I thought he was just onside.
It shows that we're not biased in our assessment of the game.
It's all about opinions.
It's all about opinions.
Nice ball through the upper line. Has the little man managed to keep that in? Yes, he has. Tanatip, great ball in. Good solid defending though. When Gaidu with the lunging challenge just to stop that going in. Here's Tanatip again. Tanatip dropping the shoulder. Good close control and good feet. Gets hacked that now. This is where Alvan Han needs to be very, very careful because he's just gone in the book. How quick are these feet? Look, there you go. Look there as though Lee Tai-Tang had to buy a ticket to get back in the stadium. Totally outfoxed.
He's got very good feet, the little fella. Wouldn't like to play against him at five-a-side. I think he might make me look very silly.
Good feet for the little man. Of course, making reference to past comments that we have made. Good feet for the big man. Good touch for the big man.
Well, Kirati will want the ball up there.
Let's see what quality can be delivered. It's a great little ball in that near post area. Challenge needed to come from Gwen Mindok.
Good work from the captain. He reads the game well. I think he's one of the few Vietnamese players that's come out of this tournament with much credit. Does look an accomplished defender.
As well, Wong Song has pulled off a couple of good saves. Have kept it tight. Conceded one goal in each of the last two games. It's 2 tonight, so it's not too bad for Vietnam. It's just the other end where they're missing the striking options as this corner's whipped in. An own goal. That's 3. You can see Kirate is trying to claim it, but I don't think it was anywhere near him. But Vietnam will be going home with their tail between their legs, and who knows, maybe the head of Phan Tan Hung will roll. There is no way that Vietnam will get back into this. There is no way that they're going through the group phase. Wonderful ball whipped in. There's the own goal, and it is very unfortunate. It is Gwen Gaidu who has just put that in his own net, and there was not much he could do about that, really.
It's just a little flick off Karate's head, and earlier in the move he'd been looking in the wrong direction. He's looking the right way, Quinn, but he couldn't sort his legs out quickly enough there. Bounces off his knee, and the hands on the hips say everything. Nobody knows the troubles I've seen. This fella played his part. It was a good delivery.
He attacked the ball at that near post, and if he did get something faint on it, it did just put off Gwen Gaidu. But it's 3-1, and it is another demolition job by Thailand. 4-0 in the second game against Myanmar after at times lacklustre against the Philippines in the opening encounter. 2-1 victory, 4-0 Myanmar, and now 3-1 against Vietnam. As we see another yellow card. This time it is going to be to Samanya Prosai. Tell you that there's almost 85 minutes gone at the Super Challenge Stadium. Philippines still beating Myanmar by 1-0.
Don't think there can be any complaints from Sumanya about that yellow card. Very rash challenge. Been in the wars a bit tonight in this this game. Combative midfield player. Well, they scored from this sort of position a little while ago, Paul.
Van Quet it was who scored, and let's see what quality he can put in on this occasion. It's a good angle for the cross. It's maybe just too tight for the shot at goal. Van Quet, he's gone for goal purely and simply because he's feeling a little bit confident because he scored, but that was the wrong option.
Yeah, very disappointing delivery indeed. although there's plenty of empty spaces in the stadium, there's plenty of full seats as well there. We can see it's unusual to get so many behind the goal and so few alongside the pitch.
They are the cheaper seats up there at the Rajamangala, Jamie, because they're a little bit further, they're set just slightly further back from the pitch. And I do know that the Thai FA do give a lot of those seats to the kids and give them to charities and give them to the schools to bring them down, and that's why they're packed out at the ends. They obviously try to generate the revenue from the sides, which is understandable when you want to get a crowd and an atmosphere.
You've got to be creative with the way you do your ticketing.
Vietnam snatch another one. Oh, that's brilliant control. Nice and cool there, it has to be said. Ibu just back there. Battling away, the little man, Tanatim. He has got quick feet, hasn't he? He's just absolutely made Gal Saekyung look absolutely ridiculous there.
Don't think he liked it either, did he?
No, just the block, just the two arms on that occasion, Jamie. Well,
that tells the story, doesn't it, Paul?
One's keeping his job, one looks like he's going to lose his job. There you go, being a little bit too clever. Tiradon, which is what you're talking about. Don't be clever, don't be stupid. Just keep playing and do your natural things. Too many touches there from Tiradon. He just thought he was going to get absolutely smashed in the challenge. It didn't happen.
It's always very tempting though, Paul, isn't it? Bit of showboating when the game's won, especially when you're old rivals.
You just want to win the game, that's the thing. There's the little touch. Did it touch? I mean, that's just such a poor decision. He's given the corner. Sompong's headed it. Gwenbu Fong's jumped over it and he's given a corner. It really just hasn't been Vietnam's day, has it? I'm sorry, that's made me chuckle. Let's see what quality again comes in from Pusay this time. Not as good as the last one. We have to be honest, the first half wasn't the best. It was boring to say the least. Very dull. Not like that in the second half, Jamie. It's just amazing with these Southeast Asian teams that they start like that, then all of a sudden the whole game just explodes into life, doesn't it? There's Tiradon getting hacked at all over the place. He's not happy, nudges someone else. Yeah. It's Lee Tan Thai again who's putting his foot in, that much we do know, and Pham Tan Leong getting involved as well, and also, yet again, the number 17, Gwenbu Fong.
Not quite sure if they understand each other when they're speaking there, but it's the kind of universal language. You don't actually need to speak the physical language. Oh.
Okay, that's going to be a yellow card, no question about that.
It could still be a red card, another red card in this ball. They've lost the plot, haven't they?
When Dong-Yu, who, yeah, a little bit cynical, should we say that?
You'd ideally want a left footer, and in fact, we have got a left footer. Tiradon, who's got an exquisite left foot, has gone over there. Now he should get some quality on this.
Just when you could have done without it on the pitch, isn't it? Again, Thailand down to 10 men. Artit sent off after 69 minutes. It is going to be Tiradon who is going to whip this ball in.
Kirati will be hoping he gets the delivery just right. So much more satisfactory if you get the hat-trick.
Ball delivered. A little bit of a flap from the keeper. Monson not taking that one cleanly. Gwen Van Quet just trying to get things going again. Just splits it wide. And that's good defending.
It's very clever defending, wasn't it? He just bided his time there, got the timing of the tackle right. looked as if he was going to give a free kick away, but did well.
Versailles was who won that challenge. You see the Thais pressing even with 10 men and forcing the mistakes. Alban Juan was playing that one inside. Niwat keeps the ball. Here is Chanathan again, the 19-year-old. Best player on the pitch by my reckonings at the moment. So just couldn't make anything happen there.
Yeah, he should have done better there, actually. It was a nice ball dying into his chest. Just nice tight control. There were players around.
Ball forwards and it's evaded everybody. Pham Thanh Leong with a shot. Pham Thanh Leong with a rebound. Well, Thailand getting a little bit sloppy there as the board goes up. 4 minutes of time added on at the end of the 90.
I think he's deserved a goal tonight, Pham. He's probably had about 5 efforts at goal himself.
Easily dealt with, no problems there.
Nice defensive header from Sompong there. He's certainly worked his socks off this evening.
Quality. Fired across the goal. Are they going to get a late one? No, they're not. Not by the looks of things there.
Tan Thai probably should have done better with that. As the ball's coming to him, he has time to measure it up. And the top corner was looking very inviting, but missed it by some margin. Got to say, the substitutes don't look too happy on the Vietnamese bench. Lê Công Vinh, we just saw, looking distinctly disgruntled with life. Hasn't seen any action in this game at all.
Thought he was going to start, but he was left out. Vietnam feel just playing now to try and nick another goal. I have to say, very good play yet again from Thailand. Even with the 10 men, as a group, as a team, as a unit, they're closing down very, very quickly. Time is ticking by. We're 3 minutes into stoppage time in the other game at the Rajamangala Stadium. Ball whipped in, defended by Teradon. No problems, no questions there. I can just tell you that 3.5 minutes into stoppage time, the Philippines have just scored again. Angel Guardado has got the second goal for the Philippines. It's all academic now. They are through to the semi-finals. There's absolute rapture down there. The Philippines have done it again, Jamie Reeves.
Yeah, well, this is the fellow who came on and turned the game for them last time around, and this time came on as a substitute again and showed good strength, good pace and good finishing ability with that good left foot of his. And I'm pleased to see the Philippines go through. I think they add something that we don't necessarily get from the other Southeast Asian sides. And this is looking a strong group, Paul. I don't think anyone will fancy playing against the Philippines in the semi-final.
I think you prefer the Philippines to the Thais, though. Yeah. So whoever tops Group B, the matches you can catch live on our networks. Check your listings for details. You'll be able to see who will take on Thailand and who will take on the Philippines in the semi-finals. Will it be Singapore? Will the Lions be roaring? Will Malaysia and the Tigers bite back and beat the Garuda, Indonesia? You only need a point to go through. All to play for tomorrow. This game's going to just pit it out into the referee just blowing his final whistle. We're not going to have too much action there. The final whistle has gone at the other game, so the Philippines are confirmed. They are through already as that ball's played long and deep, looking for the run of Gwen Van Quet, but that's too little, too late for Vietnam. Philippines go marching on, that much we do know, and it's the Thais that are going to have a 100% record and the only side that will be able to do so in Group A and Group B.
I think the points are a fair reflection of the quality of their football as well. They do look the best side in the tournament so far. Of course, tournaments aren't always won by the best side, so they've still got a lot of work to be done, but so far so good as far as the ties are concerned.
There is the final whistle. 9 points, 3 wins from 3. They beat the Philippines in their opening game 2-1. They beat Myanmar 4-0 in the second game. 3-1 today. Kirate, the hero, with 2 goals, and an own goal from Gwen Gai Tu meant that they had 3. It was a Gwen Van Quet goal for Vietnam that pulled one back, but thoroughly deserved victory for Thailand.
Absolutely, the better side throughout the game. They had a little wobble when they got the red card and got a bit silly for a while, but I would have said for 80 minutes of that game they were by far the dominant force in it. And they look the best team in the tournament at the moment, Paul. They must establish themselves as favourites.
Group A finishes this way. Thailand at 9 points, Philippines 6 points, Vietnam 1 point, Myanmar 1 point. We know the Philippines are going through to the semis, but it's Thailand that win this one 3-1, and they'll be in the semi-finals as well.